what the Buddha was recorded to have said to his community at that time. Experiences are preceded by mind, led by mind, and produced by mind. If one speaks or acts with an impure mind, suffering follows, even as a cartwheel follows the hoof of the ox. They're often in pairs. Experiences are preceded by mind, led by mind, produced by mind. If we speak or act with a pure mind, happiness follows like a shadow that never departs. Okay, so both verses are pointing to the centrality of mind. This is our starting point. So a lot of the time in our secular world, our materialist world, we're obsessed with trying to get what's out there just so. You know, the job, the family, the house, whatever it is. We very much got a sense of, it's kind of like this material world that's got to be just so. The Buddha was saying that's not the starting point. The starting point is your mind. Yeah, all of that shape of this material world is a reflection of this inner state. And we do this individually, we do it collectively. Yeah, it's happening all the time. But if we start here, we've got a better chance of really making a difference. And when the Buddha talks about suffering, there's lots of layers to that. I mean, I think a number of us, we evoke that between us, you know, the suffering in the world, our own personal experience of that. And I need to say a little bit about this word impure, because it's easy to get a sense of impure as though, I don't know. What we mean by impure in Buddhism is very specific. It's saying a mind that's coloured by hatred, a mind that's coloured by kind of craving, addiction, you know, that kind of want, or a mind that's just ignoring, that's kind of, you know, asleep, just not really tuning into what's happening. That's what we mean by an impure mind. We're not talking about sin, you know, in that respect. So just make that clear. And then here we've got the opposite. It's kind of like saying, if it's a mind that is without grasping, trying to have new experience all the time, in a particular way, and it's not pushing away hatred in that way, and it's a mind that's happy to be noticing, that's awake, aware, not ignoring, it's kind of saying happiness will take care of itself. You don't need to worry about happiness. This image of like a shadow, you don't need to think, oh, better go out today with my shadow. It's just going to follow you. Yeah, there's nothing you have to do. So this is your starting point, the mind, and that's why Buddhists meditate, not because they like pins and needles in their legs and they haven't got enough energy to get up and change the world. It's actually that they're saying, I'm going to get up and change the world, but I'm first going to make sure I'm master of myself. Yeah, I can't pretend that I can teach a group of 30 rowdy teenagers if I'm not even kind of, you know, in my own being, calm, you know, not losing my temper, patient, you know, all those qualities that those people in that classroom require of a good teacher. And all the different contexts in your life, I'm sure you've got a sense of how you want to be. You have a sense of what would be helpful to your friends, your families, your community. So we have to be the change we want to see. If we want a more sane world, it starts with our own mind, and then the idea is that will ripple out. Yeah, happiness will follow. But that's the language of the Dhammapada. It's kind of, where are you? You know, you're saying all of that is crazy out there. How sane are you? Are you in control? Yeah, so that's kind of the flavour of Buddhist meditation. So just being clear about mind. In the West, we tend to have divided up, like the brain, the mind's up here, the heart's down there, and the body, well, I don't know, somewhere. And it seems in the East there's not that kind of division, that this word is often translated as heart-mind or mind-heart. So when we talk about working with the mind, it is including the heart. Yeah. So when I got the shrine together yesterday, I very purposefully went for this colour red, because I don't want you to get this sense of meditation being cold. Yeah, it has got an element of control and equanimity and calmness, but it's warm. Yeah, there's a heart opening response, and I'm hoping over the 8 weeks you'll start to understand that this mind and heart are kind of not separate at all. Yeah, that separation is a bit of a false division. And the other two terminology I wanted to introduce to you is this term. Meditation traditionally is split into two types. Samatha, which is what you were referring to, Neil, of this calming effect. Yeah, so it's practices which just, most of us, that's what we need. Even in India 2,500 years ago, without the complexity of life, there was a need for calming meditation, and this tended to be called samatha practices. So the two practices that you will be expert at by the end of this 8-week course, if you come every week and you do the home practices, will be the mindfulness of breathing and the metta bhavana that Gurnan will be saying more about. And they belong to this area of meditation practice. Yeah, they'll really calm things down for everyone. But I also want you to be aware, right from the start of your journey, that meditation includes also vipassana. And vipassana is particularly to do with seeing, and to be seeing clearly. So you might be thinking, some of you, I'm completely new, but at the beginning I want you to be aware of where this can take you. Ultimately, why Buddhists meditate is not just they want to calm down, they're really interested in tuning into what's going on. What is reality about? What is the truth of the world? The big questions. Why am I here? Yeah, why do people age, get old? Why do we die? What does that mean? The big questions you probably all had alive when you were teenagers, when you were younger, and then we kind of forget about them. Buddhists are really good at keeping them alive. No, those are the questions. They're good questions. Let's keep bringing them in. The main thing I want you to start tuning into with meditation is there's two elements of activity and receptivity. Yeah? It's kind of like this image of putting your foot on the accelerator or putting your foot on the brake. Yeah. So there'll be certain practices which feel really active. Yeah. You're definitely doing something. You're not just, blobbing out. There's a discipline. There's something you're learning to do. Yeah, that will require effort. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Some days you're not going to feel like meditating. Oh God, I don't want to sit still for 50. You're going to have to, you've all done things in your life, you've learnt things. You know that if it's worthwhile, you're going to have to put some effort in. So, yeah, really set the intention to do that if you can. But that can sometimes get too much, can't it? And if it's too active, that's kind of when we ping against it.